Electric bikes come in all shapes and sizes, ranging from large tire off-road beasts to nimble and light racing rigs. Well, the bike we're looking at today falls somewhere in the middle. It's the Turris from Ride1Up, a brand that offers a large range of reasonably priced e-bikes. The Turris is an entry-level touring e-bike, a category that will need to be explored to learn more about this offering from Ride1Up. It has a traditional sized wheel and tire and receives power from a rear hub motor. So let's take the Turris out on the road and see what this latest offering from Ride1Up is really like. So what is the Ride1Up Turris? Well, the Turris is an entry-level touring e-bike with a hybrid style frame. It's available as either a step-through or a step-over version. The frame and handlebars on the step-through version we have allow for a straight-back riding stance and easy mounting. Yet the design of the frame keep it responsive and fun to ride. The bike is a hardtail with a 100mm front suspension fork, and it rides on 27.5-inch rims with 2.4-inch tires, which is a more traditional wheel size to which many riders from mountain or recreational riding backgrounds will be pretty accustomed to. Overall, the bike seems to be an urban e-bike capable of navigating mixed terrains. Coming equipped with fenders, the bike is directed at casual commuters and recreational riders. Plus, it has other accessories like a rear rack which you can purchase to enhance those capabilities. So let's get going with the pros for this bike. Starting off with our first pro, which is that front suspension fork. Now the front suspension fork on the Turris has 100mm of travel, which beats out many competitors who typically have around 50 to 80mm of travel. While the fork is an inexpensive model with a coil type suspension, it's functional for the bike and it assists with bumpy gravel, dirt roads, or when you're out there riding on the pavement. And the fork also features a hydraulic lockout. Our second pro is the Class 3 capability that this bike has. Since it's a Class 3 bike, it's capable of traveling up to 28 miles an hour. While the motor is not very fast to accelerate to the top speed, it does have the capability to travel above 20 miles per hour, which is great for long distance commuting as it really eats the miles at a faster rate. Our third pro is the bike's size and the wheel size. The Turris is fairly light, at least by e-bike standards, with a fairly conventional tire size of 27.5 inches by 2.4 inches. This combo really allows the bike to travel easily on car or bus mounted bike racks and assists with lifting the unit. The ability to move the bike unpowered easily is really nice when you're trying to travel or if you have storage on both ends of your commute. Plus, this is a more standard wheel size and the weight is going to make the bike easier to get used to for cyclists who are used to unpowered bikes. And then moving on to our cons. Our first con is the battery and controller. And the battery and controller on its unit gave us a pretty major issue during testing. We managed to accomplish a 21-mile range test without the battery meter really moving at all from a full charge, which was suspicious. And suddenly, at around the 21-mile mark, the battery level dropped to 4 bars, as would be expected. But then a moment later, while climbing a hill, the entire unit shut off, with no power and no display. The bike would not turn on for about 20 to 30 minutes, leaving me stranded with no warning and no way to turn it back on. When it did turn back on, it again showed a full battery meter, but as soon as you put the motor under strain, it shut off again with no warning or way to turn it back on for another 15 to 20 minutes, when it again responded to the power button. This is definitely the bike or controller shutting down due to low voltage as a safety mechanism. But with the battery indicator not working properly, or at least not showing anything below that 4 bar and no real warning or error code, it was a pretty frustrating situation. And it really leaves me uncertain of the bike's capabilities or true range, as you don't want to get stranded again. So this was a really interesting issue with this bike, which may not reflect all of the Turris bikes, but was definitely an issue with the test model we had. Our second con is the poor hill climbing ability. The bike is not good on steeper hills. Honestly, it even struggles on our medium hill test. And I'm not sure where Ride1Up gets the 750 watt sustained rating from. But this bike is definitely a far cry from other 750 watt competitors. Just look at its results. It struggles to match even 500 watt motors in testing, so it's really not a good choice for repeated hill climbing or steep hills. The last con that we have for the bike are the low quality components. The Turris has a fairly basic set of components, and our test model faced issues with these from the beginning. Our rear derailleur and hanger were bent right out of the box. Now this can happen while shipping, and Ride1Up was great, helping us to get a new derailleur and hanger free of charge. The second issue out of the box though was a rear hydraulic brake that was not functional. It required a brake bleed to restore proper function, and that's not a shipping issue. The entry-level Shimano shifter and 7-speed drivetrain are very basic components as well, and was a little disappointing after seeing other Ride1Up bikes with 8 or 9-speed drivetrains. The front light also seemed a little bit less functional than other lights have been, with a very small square of light that's projected from the 60 lux light. Also, despite being mentioned in the description, we were kind of disappointed that this bike did not appear to have a rear-facing light. So what does it do best? The Turris is a nice entry-level bike for recreational riding and exploring. It can see good function as a commuter, but issues with our model's battery indicator made the range a little bit tough to calculate. Users who plan to travel less than 20 miles in a day and don't face large hills will be able to find good use for the bike. Its comfortable design and layout offer a relaxed, straight-backed riding stance that many users are going to be comfortable with. So what are some reasons to look elsewhere? Well, the Turris is an entry-level offering with limited use past recreational riding and trips to your local store, at least with the issues that were faced on our test model. Users who value performance and range will find issues with the bike. It was a bit of a lackluster performance for the Turris, and disappointing after other bikes from Ride1Up performed much better. Next, moving on to the frame and geometry. The Turris has two available frame options, a step-through model and a step-over version. We received the step-through version, which still uses an up and down tube together, but they're both pitched steeply towards the pedals, allowing for a low standover height, and it still keeps the bike flex-free. So the frame really finds a nice middle ground, offering performance and convenience. It still offers easy control and performance while riding with that stiff frame and pleasant sizing, but also caters to more riders with an easy mountability and straight-backed riding stance. Looking at the measurements on this bike, we have a seat tube of 18 inches, a reach measurement of 14.37 inches, stack measurement of 26.37 inches, a standover height of 22 inches, a virtual top tube length of 22 inches, a minimum saddle height of 32 inches, and a max saddle height of 42.5 inches, giving us a total length of this bike of 71.5 inches. And we have a recommended rider height on this bike of 5'1" to 6'3". The Turris comes equipped with a rear hub motor, which is from an unknown manufacturer. Now Ride1Up claims this to be a 48 volt, 750 watt sustained motor, which is capable of 60 Newton meters at max torque output. During testing, the motor was disappointing, offering limited hill climbing ability even at high battery voltages. The motor was fine for accelerating and powering the bike on flat ground, but when it faced hills, it quickly lost speed on grades over 8 degrees. So this resulted in one of the slower times from our medium hill test, which was pretty surprising for a claimed 750 watt motor, as it performed worse even than other 500 watt nominal output motors that we've tested. The motor was able to power the bike up to 20 miles an hour in a total time of 13 seconds with throttle only, and 10 seconds using the pedal assist. Taking a look at the cockpit and control, it's a very clean layout and simple. The Turris uses a combined display control pad, which is set on the left side. And this leaves plenty of room on the bars for the lock-on grips, thumb-style throttle, and that turny overhand shifter with the zoom brake levers. The grips, brake levers, and throttle position are all comfortable and simple to use. And the same goes for the display and control pad. It's the same unit that we see on other Ride1Up bikes, and it's a simple one to use with a 3-button control. It has a power button, up button, and down button, and it has the standard layout. The up and down control your pedal assist level, or the options in a menu. And the power button turns the unit on and off with a long press, or a single click of this power button changes through the available settings on the average or max speed odometer and your trip tracking. Long pressing the up turns on the front headlight, and long pressing the down button will activate the walk mode. The bike also has some more advanced options in the menu, which you access by pressing up and down simultaneously. The handlebars swoop back towards the rider, which works well with the frame to bring a straight-backed riding stance that this step-through model features. I personally enjoyed the cockpit of the bike, and I found it easy to use and control. The Turris comes equipped with a 48-volt, 14 amp hour, which is a 672 watt-hour battery pack. And it was not capable of the range that we initially expected. We managed to get a total range of 21.28 miles out of the bike, using maximum pedal assist and no throttle. This is a result on the lower end of the spectrum for the battery size. But on its own, it's a fine result. However, the bike did not display an accurate battery level during the ride, which resulted in the bike going dead suddenly, despite displaying a displayed charge of over 80%. I'd like to hear from other users about the range that they can ride and whether they've faced similar issues when the bike reaches low battery levels. So our range test, we managed to go a total distance of 21.28 miles, 1,226 feet, over 1 hour and 36 minutes, with an average speed of 13.2 miles per hour. Next, taking a look at the charger, battery removal, and keys. The Turris uses a 54.6 volt 2 amp output charger, which comes with the unit. The charger can replenish the battery in about 6 hours, so it's not a fast charger. And the battery is located in the down tube and is removed by pulling it down and out of the frame. To remove the battery, you first need to unlock the battery from the bike, and the keyhole is located on the side of the frame. After unlocking, to remove the battery fully, you turn the knob located on the battery itself. This fully removes the battery and it will slide easily out. You can return the battery without inserting the key, as it simply slides back into place and locks. Charging is also possible with the battery installed, by using the external charge port, which is protected by a rubber stopper when it's not in use. The drivetrain on this bike has a reasonable range, with a 7-speed 12 to 32 tooth rear cassette, which allows the bike to be pedaled up to its Class 3 speed of 28 miles per hour. The shifting is definitely clunky, but it's relatively reliable, so it's a functional unit. It's great to see that increased range in the rear cassette for pedal cadence and comfort, but it's definitely far from anything to get excited about. For brakes, we see a hydraulic brake with the Zoom dual piston lever and caliper. These brakes use 180mm rotors front and back on the Turris, and they allow for a reasonable stopping distance, although it is pretty far compared to some other units we've tested recently. The Zoom brakes did require some maintenance when the bike arrived, with the rear brake requiring a bleed to function properly. The Zoom brakes work well, but some users have noticed that the levers are made from soft aluminum that's quite easy to bend if the bike falls or gets impacted. The Zoom brakes took about 25.5 feet of total distance to stop from a speed of 20 miles per hour. Looking at the wheels, tires, and fenders. The Turris has a nice looking set of brown sidewall tires mounted on a conventional size set of rims. It's a 27.5-inch rim with a 2.4-inch wide tire, which are quite comfortable, and they don't have the negative attributes that plus size or balloon size tires bring. The wheels roll fast and offer a fine grip on all surfaces, matching the design and capabilities of the bike well. The bike comes equipped with a set of aluminum fenders front and rear, which do a really good job of keeping you clear of road debris, although they were a little bit tough to set up and required a little bit of finagling to get them into the right position and place. The Turris has a set of lock-on grips, which feature ergonomic flares. These grips are comfortable and firmly attached to the bars, so there's no slipping. I enjoyed them on the bike, and they will stand up to any weather. The saddle on the Turris is also a nice companion, with plush padding and some polymer springs for added comfort. The saddle is sized well, combining a large padded option and minimal style performance saddles together to have a pretty comfortable saddle. It doesn't provide any discomfort when pedaling or after a long ride. We see a traditional set of Welgo flat pedals on this bike. They're a fine entry-level option to get you out riding, but they will maybe need to be swapped later for some users. The Turris looks good, but it didn't offer the level of performance I was expecting, specifically regarding the battery indicator and the quality level of components. While the size and design of the bike do make it fun to ride and easy to maneuver, it was frustrating to be left stranded from an apparent 80% battery level. This may just be an unfortunate issue with the battery and not a good indication of the quality of the Turris, but as it stands, the Ride1Up Turris seems to be a better fit for recreational riders who don't plan to use it more than 20 miles in a single charge. Is this bike for you? Check out the detailed specs at BikeRide.com and see user and expert reviews. You can also check out other great e-bikes and see them rated to find your perfect match. Do you have a question or something you want to say? Let me know in the comments and we'll start getting you some answers. So if you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe so we can keep on bringing you the latest e-bike reviews and news. I'm Scott with BikeRide.com. I want to say thanks for watching and I hope that you enjoy the ride.